Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something sick.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I hope.
How do you mean? What's up?
Oh, I'm just a little nervous because of what happened before. And I think that's why, that is why I canceled last week.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I think I need to.
Okay.
I guess I was, that part of me that doesn't feel good enough, I didn't do it right. And even the day after, I had some old flowers, and it's I just, I'm going to throw them out because I'm not worth anything anyways. I was just thinking that way, and it's no. And it did bother me. And because I really thought I was, making progress, and I know it was helping me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but I know what I was doing was working. So I just had a hard time after that session.
Okay.
Feeling that part that just feels like they can't do anything right.
Okay.
And that's why I kind of canceled after that. So okay. Yeah.
Thanks
so I was a little nervous to come back. Because I thought I was doing good.
Yeah. So, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's, it's hard. It's hard to, but, it's not going to work if you can't communicate.
Yeah. So, there's a part in you that was hearing from me that you're not doing it right. And then
I felt like yeah.
Okay.
That I wasn't, so I was kind of feeling, well, then everything I did wasn't right, I guess. So that's, yeah, I was struggling with that a little bit after.
Yeah.
But it didn't last for days. I knew that I was doing the best I could and that it was helping me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that part that feels like it can't do anything right or that it's not worth anything. Sounds like exile kind of shame part, right?
I guess shame, yeah. Shame is you just don't feel good, right, about anything or
Yeah. And how did you get over it? Like you said it didn't last forever. It just was there a process that you went through to work
well,
with
I
that?
mean, I do a lot of talking, talking to myself and um, just self-care things and whether it's affirmations or the meetings or just getting okay with me.
Hmm.
And I don't necessarily know if I always go to that part, but just the things I do learn in program and trying to be more positive. It just helps me to know, that I am okay. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of incorporating, what I learn here plus, tools from program.
Yeah, and I don't know what those tools are, and I don't, all I'm IFS all the time, solution for everything kind of mindset. So
Yeah.
so I don't know what that's like for you or what it's like for your parts. So maybe that's something we could find out. Yeah, because when I hear that, when I hear, a part comes up and then it sounds like it feels resolved, but not by going to the part, then my intuition or my IFS kind of intuition is, oh well, let's go to the part, so that could be something you could check out with those parts of like, is what you're doing working, and is for all of them, does that part need or want more of a connection with you? Just hypotheses of ways we could
Yeah.
go.
And, maybe I do have a hard time finding those parts too. I really, I don't know, but I was, I was just a little more confused after.
Yeah, I'm sorry for adding confusion.
Well, I mean, you were doing what you learned too, and I don't know. It kind of brought back some stuff, like growing up, not doing anything right. And, so it did touch on, like you said, it's, I guess, the shame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah, welcome.
I,
Glad you came back.
I try to do what, feels right and think I'm doing. So,
If something's working for you, then it's working for you, and I don't have any authority to say that it isn't. So, when you say you have a hard time finding these parts, again, I'm just in pure IFS mode thinking, okay, well, that's a trailhead. Let's learn to find those parts. Those parts need you if you have a hard time finding them. But on the other hand, if you have something that works for you, or if doing IFS or doing it in the way that I'm suggesting doing it isn't working, then discard it, you know?
You know, and I know in the 12th step, you know, they do connect with their inner child, you know, to get to know them and parent them and reparent them, and, you know, to listen to the ear inside. So, you know, some of that is, for me, I think is similar. But I needed to talk to you about that.
Yeah. Well, when you say inner child, you know, I think in a way that's what we're doing in IFS, but we have lots and lots of parts. And from just my experience with my own system and what people have shared with me about theirs, it seems like there are usually a whole bunch of young parts. And so, you know, each one has its own relationship with self in IFS. And so that's kind of a flag for me of the idea that there's an inner child. I think could be a way of missing that there's 10 inner children. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they, you know, and some of the things, it depends what the topic is, but, you know, like the teenager one or the young one, you know, so it does go to different
Okay.
different parts, but
Yeah, sounds like they're doing parts work.
so, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just felt that I was doing good with that, especially the frightened, you know, the anxious one and being left alone. And
Yeah. I hear you saying that you felt you were. Are you implying that you think I think that you aren't, or that part of you thinks that?
What I kind of got from the session, that I wasn't maybe processing it right, or yeah, kind of.
Again, I don't have any authority in the relationship with you and your parts. I don't have it. I couldn't have it. I don't want it. So, you know, I can look at what you describe as your journey, and I can compare it to the limited amount that I know about IFS and my own experience. But that's all I can offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can be in self energy and not be in self energy, so there's that too. But I can be wrong. Yeah, you know, I can. If you and your parts are saying you're doing it right, if you're feeling that deeper connection, and I'm saying you're not feeling that, then I'm wrong. But I would suggest that you confer with your parts about that, because the relationship is a two-way thing with them.
Yeah. And that's, you know, not always sure if I, you know, still connect with them, right? So, but I mean, I felt like I was just growing and being more aware of the parts, and knowing, I guess, what to ask them and to give them.
It's awesome.
So I don't know.
What do you see as the goal of IFS or the goal of working with me? Either.
Well, I do want to be more peaceful and feel more whole and, understanding the parts instead of letting them, I guess, control me, control everything.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's good. I mean, I think we have the same aim, at least. Right?
Yeah. And I do, feel that I was doing that.
Okay.
Oh. So yeah.
I can't, yeah, I can't, I can't grade you. I can't grade you, I can't give you any points. Like, if you're doing it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
I can make suggestions about various ways to do it. That's all. Or I can try to model doing it.
All right. Well, I just, like I said, I needed to be honest.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I know, and sometimes it is. It's still new. It is. It's a lot to remember what to do. Like I said, I have my program too, the way I do program, and then, try to connect with the parts. But I feel like I'm more, I don't know if whole is the word. There's more of a balance inside me, I guess.
That's great.
Most, not all the time. Yeah, I have my moments where I don't go in and I don't, look at the part, and I use like programs. So again, if you don't deal with the parts, they're going to keep coming back, right? I mean,
yeah, for me, if I'm just have pure IFS hat on, if you don't deal with the parts, then you're not doing it. And I'm not making a judgment about that. You do what you need to do. But if it's not going to parts, then it's not IFS, and it's something else.
All right. So I don't know if you want to, if we want to continue, or, I mean, tonight, or I don't know where to,
Whatever you like. We could talk about, I heard you say that there's a lot to remember. We could talk about what it is that you're trying to remember and maybe strategies around that. You talked about, you mentioned kind of like trying to be positive, and that I thought that was interesting, that maybe there's kind of a manager part that's kind of pushing, that sounded like a possible trailhead. And then of course there's this what sounds like to me an exile of, I'm not worth anything, can't do anything right, and you're feeling like you don't have direct access or easy access to that part. That sounds like the deeper work. Those are just some of the things that I heard that we could explore. I also have notes from last time about parts that I had bookmarked. So I'm happy to do any of those things or whatever else you'd like to talk about.
What was marked from the last time?
We talked about judging other people, and then we talked about a part of you that judges the judge of other people.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. Yeah, I do have that part of me that likes to judge and thinks they know what people should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do want, in any call, I want to encourage self-leadership, and I want to say, I want you to feel like you can, talk about what's important for you and what's up for you. And also, again, like I hear that exile as being the deeper work. So there's definitely a part of me that's kind of thinking about that as being, yeah, maybe I have a kind of a bias for getting to those parts. So I'm just kind of speaking for that part of me that has that, that sees that as, again, I mean, it sounds like the deeper or the more, an underlying exile has shown up. So I'm just kind of holding space for that and kind of advocating that if we don't get to it today, that I would love to get to it sometime. Or
Well, maybe. Oh, one more thing that I just remembered too. That something else that bothered me from the last time.
Yeah.
I do go on the Discord sometimes and just like read. And I don't know if part of me took it the wrong way, but I tried to go back and I couldn't find it. Just something that was mentioned about me.
Yeah.
And I kind of took it like I was being made fun of. So, I guess I don't, I know I gave permission, to put those on the Spotify, but on your thing. But as to, I guess, bring up my name, when I saw that too, that bothered me a little. So I think just everything together, the shame, it just made me, that part of me just feel a little bit worse.
Yeah. So are you talking about in Discord, like a chat about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something. I can't remember even.
Yeah. I think I remember mentioning your name not too long ago.
Yeah. And something about the Rachel ones or something.
I was someone was looking for calls to listen to, and I was recommending our work.
Oh, well, that maybe there were two of them then, but anyways, if I find it, but I don't remember where it was. But
I'll look for it too, and I like, there are a handful of people on there, and plenty of them are also people who have called in and are still calling in, and not all of them are sharing their real names, and there is not any hard rules about like what's okay to talk about, what's not okay to talk about. So, I know that I am looking out for, are we, what is it like? How are we talking about calls that we're having, especially knowing that the people that we're talking about are also present to these conversations. So, that's important to me to get right. And I'll look through also to see if I can figure that out. But yeah, I mean, if someone was making fun of you, that would not be okay, and that like I would want to moderate that and to delete that, or to, you know, talk to anyone, myself included. If I'm teasing or doing that, then I want not to do that. So that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make excuses, I guess, for my, but that there was a part of me that that felt like I was being picked on, I guess. So, but yeah, maybe I, need to go to that. I don't know. Maybe when we do the meditation, I
Sure.
can see where I'm supposed to go.
Okay. You want to do that now?
Yeah, if that's okay.
All right. I'll set a timer. Okay. Any parts you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
I didn't really get an answer. I'm going by what I shared, and I guess the parts that did come up, which would be the shame, correct? The shame and the just
Yeah.
not feeling good enough, and
Yes.
like I didn't do it right again.
Yes. Do you have parts of you that are reluctant, resistant, that don't want to go to that part?
I don't think so.
Well, if they pop up, just let's name them and make sure to recognize them, because it does sound like an exile part, and that usually means that there's a pack of protectors out looking for it. So we'll keep an eye out for that.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like in or around your body when you notice that sensation?
I don't get one. It's like my body kind of tightens up,
Mm-hmm.
like ready for battle, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you feel towards that part as you notice it?
I didn't like it, and I was confused. I wasn't even really curious. I was more upset and confused towards that.
Towards
The part. So is
Okay.
that like a protector?
Okay. So
You told me to
you're
be
saying,
aware.
well, you were also
I wanted to beat
using.
myself up, I guess. Because I didn't like it. Confused and
Right.
I don't want to beating myself up.
Yeah. So is that part up for you now? Is there currently that part that wants to beat it up, or yeah?
That came up when I was really going through it,
Mm-hmm.
that part. But right now, no, I didn't like it. And I was confused about it.
You didn't like the part?
Yeah, I didn't like,
The sensation?
yeah, just like,
Yeah.
the part just not feeling good enough and like it, can't do anything right.
Okay. How are you feeling now towards that part that felt that way?
Sad came up,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like when I'm asked that a lot, sad comes up a little, and it like in my throat.
Yeah. Yeah. And does it feel like a sad for the part, or does it feel like you're feeling the part's sadness itself?
Sometimes it feels like both.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that can be possible, but
Sure.
sometimes the part is sad for, and then sometimes it's me feeling sad for that part.
Mm-hmm. Which one at the moment, can you tell?
It's leaning more towards sad for the part being sad about it.
Sorry, it was a little bit choppy. You said you're feeling now
More that the part is sad instead of me feeling sad about it's leaning more towards the part feeling sad that's what you had asked me, correct?
So the reason I ask is to try to detect and facilitate unblending. So I'm trying to understand if you're feeling the part's sadness, then that would indicate to me that it's a blendedness. But if you're feeling sad for the part, then that kind of indicates that, I'm here, the part's there, I'm sad for it. So that's what I'm looking to understand.
No, I when I was thinking, it's like it was just like leaning more towards the part is sad.
Yeah, and that's what you're feeling, is it's sadness.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you can ask it to see if it can kind of separate, to see if it will kind of unblend a little bit so that you can focus on it better. It's kind of like a camera lens, you have to have the right proximity to be able to see it and help it. So maybe you could just try asking it directly if it will kind of unblend a little. Are you still feeling that part and that part's sadness, or did that get disconnected?
I'm feeling angry
Yeah.
about what's going on.
Angry about the interruptions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, I told her I had this tonight, and yeah, I'm feeling more angry than feeling the sadness, with that part. That angry part came up.
It's fine. You can decide if you want to work with that angry part or if you want to ask it to give you space to get back to this part you were working with.
I don't feel like I'm getting a specific answer.
Okay, so you try to ask, an answer to asking the angry part to step back, or answer to what?
What they want to do, what my parts.
Oh, okay.
My head feels full. I don't know what that means, but it's like.
The last thing I heard was me asking you or suggesting, what was it to? I don't know. Did you hear the last thing I said? Was
Asking the parts. I know I was saying that sometimes I get a clear answer, and other times,
yeah.
I just
and then I said maybe ask them to go to a waiting room or go to a conference table, and then just.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. You must have thought I dropped off.
Yeah, that's why I opened my eyes and I'm looking like.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another interruption. Technology interruption.
Oh, I don't know what tonight's. Maybe I don't know, but yeah.
Okay, so no pressure to do any of it.
Again, the part not feeling like I'm doing it right again, all these interruptions and not connecting real good. So the part, I guess, like beating myself up is a part that beating myself up and.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned that before about that kind of reaction to that feeling, maybe of when you have that feeling of not doing it right, and then that kind of beating yourself up comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you like to try getting to know either one of those now, or the part that.
No, I will try.
Okay.
When that part comes up, then there's another part that gets kind of a little depressed about it too. And I don't think I've brought that up before. I don't remember, but it's like a blah part, like, if I'm not feeling good,
Yeah.
then I just feel
kind of hopeless.
Yeah. And a little depressed and.
Yeah. Yeah, those sound like protective parts to me, possibly. So yeah, you can see if they'll give you space to work with that not good enough part, or if you feel like they need your attention more, or if they're not willing to give you that space, then you can turn to them and see what that's about.
They seem to be going, and it's I'm feeling more the sensation in my throat now too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And have we identified that sensation? Which part is that?
The not being good enough, not doing it right.
Great. Yeah, sounds like you are connecting with it.
Yeah, that I'm just. And I thought I put the beating itself up. I thought it went in the waiting room, but it's kind of just came out and wanted to beat myself up.
Okay.
About it.
Okay. Maybe we should apply the 3 strikes rule with that part. If it's coming in over and over, maybe we should turn to it. What's the beating yourself up part like? How do you notice that? And how do you feel towards it?
How do I feel towards it? Sometimes I think I like beating myself up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you feel worthless,
Mm-hmm.
or like you don't do anything good, might as well just keep knocking.
Yeah. So it kind of feels like it takes that worthless feeling away a little.
Yeah. So I have something to feel worthless about if I keep doing it to myself.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
That it would do that?
But it's so stupid. On one hand, yeah, it's stupid, but it's like, wow.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a part that agrees with the beating yourself up part and a part that's calling it stupid.
Yeah, that that I just don't want to. Sometimes I just don't want to feel good about myself. So beat me up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can feel sorry for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hear you saying that, you don't want to feel good about yourself. And I don't know if this is helpful or anything, but to me, that's a part talking. That's a part that says it doesn't want to feel good. It doesn't want you to feel good. And it sounds like there might be a lot of parts in the room, which makes it hard to unblend and kind of focus on one and work with one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can just let them know that you see them all. Ask them to settle down. Let them know that you want to help and that you can only work with one part at a time. Just see how they react.
It's like I can hear them all saying, me, me, me.
Yeah. Yeah. Who needs your attention the most?
The one that the part that beats
Yeah.
myself up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So try to ask those other parts to step out. Let them know you can get to them all in time. And maybe just try asking this part that does the beating up what it wants you to know.
Just like a thought came about, well, if it's not beating itself up, then it'll be strong and it has to do or take care of itself in life. So thinking beating itself up, I can act helpless and
So it's trying to kind of correct the helplessness feeling. Am I hearing that right?
I'm not sure. It's like beating myself up. Yeah, I feel it's like do I want to feel helpless so I don't have to do anything and others will rescue me? I think I talked about that before too, I remember.
Okay, so just so I understand, it's increasing the helplessness or it's beating it back.
When I feel beating myself up,
Yeah. What is its role in relation to that helplessness?
yeah, it kind of makes me feel better and an excuse not to do what I need to do.
Okay.
To be healthier, I guess.
So it wants you to be healthier, or it's giving you an excuse not to be healthier?
It's I guess what I'm hearing and feeling and whatever, it's like it kind of gives me an excuse to feel sorry for myself and not have to take any risk or
Okay.
stay in my own little
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
I think it does.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, it's like, well, if I'm feeling this way,
Yeah.
then I can be by myself and mope or do whatever, and it just reinforces reinforces what that part's doing or feeling, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And what's it afraid would happen if it didn't do that?
That I have to, I don't know if partake's a word, but that I have to be more involved in my own life, my own decisions and
Yeah. How old does this part think that you are?
I don't know, 12 came into my mind, but I have no idea. Came into my mind, but I have no idea.
Okay. And does this part also have that? Does this part have that same kind of opinion, or does it feel worthless or feel like you are worthless, and that's why, you know, you wouldn't want to be in control of your own decisions? Is that part of it?
The 12-year-old part you're asking me?
No, just checking in with that beating the self up part.
Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. So it has a concern that if it doesn't work, it doesn't do its job, then you would have to be more involved in your own decisions. Right? And I was asking if that feels like it's related to that kind of feeling of worthlessness. Like, is that why it doesn't want you to be involved with your decisions?
Lazy came to my mind, so I can be
Okay.
lazy and not do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's what it likes. That it wants to have more laziness.
It's like, well, then that lazy, I have an excuse to be lazy and not do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know why lazy came into my mind, but
Yeah, it sounds like what it was saying before, that it prefers that. Right? It prefers not having those big decisions.
yeah.
Yeah. Was there something going on when you were 12 that felt like it had to do with that, those big decisions, and kind of pushing back and wanting to choose laziness, as it calls it?
Not at that age, but something that when you were asking me that popped into my mind about going to college or not. I can remember going with my parents to Boston to look at one, and I'm like, am I really doing this? I really don't want to. And then being pregnant before I was married. To me, those were big life decisions, and just like I just did them instead of really. Well, I never went to college, but it's like I let it happen instead of really thinking, is that what I really wanted? Did I really want to get married? Just because I was pregnant didn't mean I had to.
And how is the beating yourself up part feel about those decisions?
Thinking what would have happened if I made better decisions. Where would my life have been? Instead
It's
of
thinking that?
Yeah, if I would have made different decisions back then.
Okay.
Instead of just going with the flow, thinking I had to get married. That what my parents wanted more than me.
So which side was it on? Because I was understanding it wanted kind of the laziness.
Yeah.
So it was for or against this beating yourself up part. It's for or against going along with getting married, for example. Ask it.
I feel like it was against.
Okay. Yeah, that's what was interesting to me, because to me that sounds like going along, but maybe it's thinking going along is different from going along. You're going along with other people's maybe decisions.
Yeah, I was doing what I thought, get pregnant.
Yeah.
You're Catholic.
Yeah.
You don't have an abortion. You
Yeah.
can't be alone.
Yeah.
So you just get married.
Yeah. It makes sense that part would be against all that, right?
Yeah. It went out of, I think, taking the easier route instead of being on my own and taking care of myself. No, I think a lot more comes in there.
And how is this part's role? Why does it come up? And you can just ask it. Why does it come up when the feeling of worthlessness comes up? Because I hear this connections with this, these other decisions.
The beating myself up part again.
Yeah. What is its goal when feelings of worthlessness come up? Or how does it see itself as working there?
I feel like it's telling me I want to make better decisions. I wanted to make better decisions than I did. I don't know if that's that kind of just came up like, well, maybe it is beat my, like, why didn't you make a better decision? Why? And today, wanting to make good decisions and good choices.
Yeah.
Not just because I think I have to, because of someone else.
Right. Yeah.
Now I feel sad.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're really connecting with the deeper, this part's why it does what it does and the history of all of that.
And feeling like the black sheep of the family. It's like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for all that. And I just let myself do it.
Yeah. And so this part feels like if it's not there beating you up, that you'll let other people, you'll go by what other people's agendas, right?
Yeah, instead of taking care of myself and
yeah. So its intention is for you to take better care of yourself. That's what it wants for you.
It kind of seems like that when I hear you say that too. It's like, how we always say if we could go back and do things again. But yeah, just how I allowed that 18-year-old just kind of let others make the decision in a way. I just thought that part, get a diamond. That you're supposed to get married.
Yeah. So if this part had its way, that wouldn't have happened. If the speeding yourself up part had its way, you would have possibly made other decisions that it thinks would be better ways of taking care of yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, if I felt the way I do now, I would have. If I had that stronger part.
So, is it fair to say that this part's intention is positive? It wants what's best for you?
I guess I didn't think of it in that way.
I mean, I keep hearing you say it wants you to take better care of yourself. That's come up a few times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just check that with it, if that's true. And if it is, see if you can just show it some appreciation for that intention.
It's like it's telling me, yeah, I'm worth it. That I am worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's saying it's okay. You did the best you could with what you had and what you knew.
Yeah, I wonder if you can say that to it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's doing anything wrong. I just
I guess I was kind of saying it to the part too, and
and again, kind of trying to show it appreciation, just so it doesn't feel like it has to fight you. That you can recognize its positive intent, even if you don't like the impact, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment or anything. If it has your best interests in mind, or at least what it thinks that is, you can thank it for that.
yeah, it kind of, in a way, makes me feel good that it is helping me to try, to make better decisions and to take care of.
How does it feel when you show it appreciation?
That's what it felt.
Okay.
It felt good for that little, for a bit, because
I think a lot of,
I want you to do better. I want you to.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes with what, I'm sorry, you finish.
No, it's nothing.
Yes, tell me.
So a lot of times when you're responding, you're saying, I feel better, or you're saying I, and then I'm saying, and then I'm asking, wait, you or the part? And you're saying, oh, the part. And so it's just hard for me to follow who's talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, and I don't know, it's like, oh, is that being blended, or is that just, so it would be easier for me to follow if you would just try to, if the part has something to say, then to not use I language, because we're talking about the part.
Okay.
Yeah, it's making it harder for me to follow.
Okay.
And that's why I'm having to ask so many follow-up questions, and I'm kind of confused a lot.
No, the part did feel, it felt happy.
Awesome.
Like, I don't know, just happy that it is happening, the taking better care of myself. And
Yeah. What does it think about your ability to go to a part like the part that feels worthless and to help heal it?
it felt a little hesitant at first. Again, I don't know, which is weird. It's like, no, like don't rock the boat now.
Yeah, no. And I'm not suggesting that we do that now, but yeah, like what is it? What are its concerns about your working with that part? And you may want to, I didn't suggest this earlier, update it on your real age and let it know that you're not 12.
It's like it's telling me I'm an old lady. That comes up a lot, I think, too.
Uh-huh.
But when you did ask about looking at the was it helpless part again?
Worthless.
Worthless. Okay, sorry. It's like work came into my mind, like more work.
Yeah. 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 Well, I think our aim is to really to reduce the amount of work that parts have to do. So you might just let it know that that would be your intention, is to make it so it doesn't have to work so hard. So that when that feeling comes up, when that feeling of worthlessness or can't do it right comes up, it has a direct path to you and your ability to heal and help it. And then this part wouldn't have to work so hard.
Oh, it's all excited to be at that place.
Yeah. 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 Does it have any requests of you? What does it need from you going forward?
Just to be there. Just to be there for it. And when it shows up,
Yes.
to take better care of myself and make better decisions. And to know it's not alone. That just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do all that. And there isn't a rush to go to other parts. So you can keep doing that with this part until it feels like it trusts you to go to other parts. And you can do just what you've done with it, of really acknowledging it, really finding out its positive qualities, welcoming it, and committing to being there with it in the future when it needs you.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to feel like it has to control things. Is there a way that it wants to stay connected? Is there more that it wants to negotiate with you around that? Or does it feel complete with that part?
I think the part just feels tired, like, you know, there was a lot that was going on tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, stay in touch with it.
So again, when we talk about staying in touch, just be aware. When I am feeling worthless or beating myself up. Just to ask it what it needs and.
Sure, yeah. It's to get back to this place with it. Right now you're in this place where the part's happy, the part's building, it's feeling more trusting of you. You're feeling appreciative of it. You're feeling understanding of it. And that's a new thing in your relationship with this part. And if you never revisit it again, probably won't stick. It's a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's revisiting. It's not just revisiting the part, but revisiting this connection that you have with it and saying, I know you, I've met you. You're this part. I know your story. I care about you. I appreciate you. I know what you're afraid of. I have commitments with you. I have negotiations with you. It's a full relationship. So that's why it's kind of hard to prescribe, here's what you're supposed to do, because I don't know, who knows what it wants. You can find that out with it, but it does take that kind of active, proactive going towards it.
And self-care just came up more too tonight. Just taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And also taking care of the parts.
Yeah, I think that those are the same thing in my book. I mean, you have your own definition, but that is self-care. That's because you're made of parts, and it's yourself that's caring for them. So, kind of confusion of words, but that's what they need. They all need you to show up for them, be present for them, and get to know them. And then they can relax, and you can go to those more vulnerable places and keep doing that work.
Thank goodness, right?
Yes. And I noticed I said keep doing that work, and the theme here is laziness. It's work to prevent work, right? It's work that will help them relax.
Yeah, and I know it does work.
Yes. I know you know.
All righty. I haven't even eaten yet.
Me neither.
Oh, you either.
Have a wonderful night. Thank you for giving me another try. And my door's open to keep doing it.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.